It's been a really good weekend for Chelsea. They're the big winners this weekend because Manchester City dropped points, Arsenal dropped points, Liverpool didn't play, and Chelsea moved to within 4 points of the league leaders, and that goal difference is now at plus 17. In a very low-key way, that's about as close as you're going to get to a player saying, yeah, we are definitely in this title race from Cole Palmer. Jamie Carragher has joined us. Paul and Jamie were talking about Cole Palmer just a little bit earlier on and how much of an impact he has. That's all 12 of his penalties he's scored, which is the best 100% record in the Premier League, as Emma mentioned in the interview. But that aside, just talk about his contribution to this game today.
Well, I mean, listen, he gets the penalties, he's involved in the Fernandes goal as well. I mean, there's 3 or 4 players around him, and that's what great players do. You fear when he's on the ball. And, I mean, I've been watching, I loved him last season. He started this season really well. And I think I made a comment a few weeks ago that if you look at his almost 18 months at Chelsea, I don't think there's been a player in the Premier League who's performed better than him over these 18 months. And he hasn't been playing for the best team. I mean, they look like one of the best teams in the league right now. But when you think of Chelsea over the years and the great players, they've had some great attacking players. But when you think of those flair players, I'd think of like Zola and Hazard.
Join us today on Telegram for free and enjoy the Premier League. Don't miss out. Link in description below.
I think he's probably done more than Zola in these 18 months that he's done. You know, and Zola's probably going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play for Chelsea. And he's probably on the same sort of level as what I've seen Hazard do, but maybe a longer period of time at Chelsea for 4 or 5 years. But right now, I think the way he's going, and if he can take Chelsea to a title, whether it's this season or the next 2 or 3 seasons, he's going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play for Chelsea if he keeps doing what he's doing. He is a very, very special player, and not just in the Premier League, in European or world football.
Paul, it will take a longer period of time for Cole Palmer to establish himself as one of the greats, as Jamie says. But just in terms of that 18 months since he came to Chelsea, talk about the impact that he's had in that time.
Well, phenomenal. First of all, coming down from Man City, coming down from Manchester to London is a big move in itself, you know, and he's a young lad.
Especially with the trains.
And he's come into the team and he's been outstanding. When you first come into the team, you're a young kid, you come from Man City, no one really knows about him, didn't play loads, so you get a bit of a free hit. You know, you play your stuff and people don't pick you up. The last 6-7 months, he's the big boy. You know, the name of the game is stop Cole Palmer. Stop him playing, maybe you might be able to stop Chelsea. He can't do it. And that shows how good he is, because he becomes present in team talks. If you're the manager of another team, you're like, right, we need to stop Cole Palmer. As soon as we lose the ball, someone go and connect on him. He's too intelligent. He gets into space. He's always got space, always got time. I couldn't talk highly enough of him. Everybody needs an X factor to win Premier League titles. You've got to have that bit of something extra. Like today, you know, he gets the 2 penalties, sets and makes it happen for the Fernandes goal. You need that. If you want to win titles, you need to have that X factor, and Chelsea have it with him. Well, 100%.
There was talk about him going on loan to Burnley. That was a feeling that he might do just to get his confidence, get playing again. And I think he made the move to come down here. And what a move for him. Because it takes a lot. You have to obviously move down from Manchester. He's obviously a Manchester lad. To make that change and come, it's been just life-changing for him, because he's found a club, he's found a good manager in Pochettino that gave him, because I think you need a platform for him, because you have to give him the right tools to just let him play and let him get on the ball. And great players need that, because if you put them under too much pressure or you ask them to run back too often, it's not going to work. What you have to do is when that ball breaks down, and that's why Tottenham was just perfect, because when the ball breaks down, they just kept leaving him so much space. And the things he does on a ball are just absolutely frightening. It's like a throwback of players who are just playing with no fear. It's like he's playing up in the goals with his mates, you know, in the afternoon, just playing, just going past people. The game is so effortless for him. Just before we take a look at the goals, Chelsea and the title challenge, how real is it? How strong is it?
It is real because they're there. I think the big advantage for them is the fact that they're not playing Champions League, so Maresca can almost change the whole team. And when you change the whole team, it's still a proper team. You know, you look at the players who they've got on the bench. I mean, they've got probably 6 or 7 forwards who you could arguably say are first choice in some ways. I think not being in the Carabao Cup might be important if Liverpool or Arsenal get to sort of the semi-finals and the final. But I still look at the goalkeeper and the 2 centre-backs, or Badiashile, who played today, and I just think I can't see someone winning the Premier League with that goalkeeper and without a real standout centre-back. And I think of, say, City winning it with, Ederson and Diaz, Liverpool with Van Dijk and Alisson, going back to Petr Cech and John Terry. Those figures you think that you need to win a title, I still think Chelsea are a little bit short in those areas.
For Cole Palmer, what a 2024 he is having, both of them from 12 yards, and Dan, that was quite a game in North London tonight. Yeah, crazy game. I think we were just sat watching it, couldn't believe what I was seeing. But I think when we spoke before the game, both teams are so good going forward that they were going to cause each other problems. And I thought when Chelsea sorted at half-time, they probably Chelsea's mistakes probably was a lot of Tottenham's chances. And I think once Chelsea changed a little bit, the second half, they went to that back three, Cucurella pushing in, they controlled the game a lot more. And look comfortable. Is there any point looking at the defensive aspect of that game? I think you should always just look at the attacking from that. I think there were so many chances there, especially Palmer. I think Palmer was brilliant. Little touches he makes, he always seems to make the right pass. Just so composed. In fact, Ian, it's the result or the type of performance that many of us were expecting, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. We spoke about the defences at the start of the show, and now. Even Chelsea winning 8-0 the other day, still giving up 15 shots. Even against Southampton, still giving up chances for people to score. But I feel like Dan says, I think that today's came down to just like Chelsea's mistakes. If they were like a lot tighter and a lot more professional about how they're playing, like we talked about Badashile giving it to Colwell, and then he kind of, if they tighten up on that, then you'd like to think that they're going to be a little bit sharp with what they're doing. Did it further cement what we already knew? Going into this game, Chelsea got some real momentum, and Spurs, well, they're all over the place, Glenn.
Yeah, they are all over. But Chelsea, they've got individuals there. They've got competition for places. All them players, the good players, they're looking over their shoulder. They can't afford to come off their form. That's a great position to be as a manager. And if one's playing, they took Palmer off, they've got Felix coming on, who's a really good international player. That's just one example, but they've got that all over the pitch. Now, what that does is that forces consistency, because you're saying, I've got to perform again. It's probably only Palmer that could probably go, if I have a couple of bad games, I'm not going to be dropped. But the rest, they're all at it. Every single game, they're at it. And whether they like it or not, they're in the title race. They keep playing that down, but they're in the title race.
It seems like a long, long time ago, but it was Tottenham, Premier League goal against Chelsea. 4 minutes and 45 in, they were 1-0 up.
Yeah, well, they started on the front foot. That's what you want in a London derby against Chelsea. They really went for the throat. You see Solanke's work here. He's pressed already one or two. There's a mistake, as Dan said. It was mistakes that were coming out of Chelsea. And Spurs, actually, on the early stages, punished them. That's a really good goal. It really is. Look at the hard work he's put in there. He gets his just rewards. He presses twice. They press together there, they go together, last man slips, and now it's, can you punish? And Brennan Johnson picks out a lovely little ball into that near post. That's a really good finish, isn't it, Ian?
The thing, when you look at it again, it's so poor from Chelsea, and that if they sharpen themselves up in that instance, then that doesn't happen. The passes were poor, and then Cucurella slipped. But his movement made that goal. It was fantastic movement from him.
It was only, 6 minutes later, they doubled their lead, and Marc Cucurella, unfortunately, from a Chelsea perspective, involved again here, Dan. Yeah, slips. Obviously wasn't happy with his footwear, but same sort of things we spoke about. I think, as I said, it comes from a Chelsea mistake, and it surprised us because, especially that first one, that's all Tottenham want you to do. They want you to go backwards so that they can put that pressure on you. They've got that high line, and you just thought that first half Chelsea would have tried to expose that a little bit more. It was a great finish from Kulusevski. Great finish.
It's really top finish, this, isn't it? He knows what he's doing, through the legs, back across the keeper, and there's the slip. Get those boots changed. And that's the clever bit there, through the legs. He knows exactly, drives it into that bottom corner. Really good finish. Look, happy days. Everyone in that stadium with Spurs supporters are happy, apart from Cucurella, who throws his boots away. But at the end of the day, it's how you want to start. Now you've got to think, right, we're 2-0 up. What do we do next? But it's the Spurs way, it's Ange's way. We keep playing the same way. And in the end, Chelsea... Because Chelsea had chances, actually, in the first half as well.
What did you make of that boot fiasco?
Well, it doesn't make sense to me, because obviously the warm-up is about testing the boots, how the boot's going to be okay. But you saw how he slipped, and it was like proper slips. It's not, look. It's like he's got moulded on, in this weather. You know, and then he's blaming. When he took them off, he's throwing them like it's the boots' fault.
Yeah.
What should have been happening is during the warm-up, he should be testing. Oh, he's feeling a little bit slick, and then you change. Should be wearing studs that are going to give you that opportunity to fall over. None.
No. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's get some post-match reaction. I'm delighted to say Jadon Sancho of Chelsea joins us now from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Jadon, thanks for joining us tonight. Well done this evening. I mean, what a comeback win in the end.
First of all, thank you for having me. Yeah, what can I say? It was a great win, a great comeback, and we're just delighted with the 3 points.
2-0 down after 11 minutes. What are you thinking?
To be fair, I have a lot of trust in this squad, so I wasn't too fazed. And once we got the first goal back, I knew it would come back and get a result.
Can you talk us through your goal, if you don't mind?
Well, yeah, it was a 1v1, and I saw the opportunity to cut inside, and then I just thought, why not shoot? In training recently, I've been working on my shooting, so I'm just delighted that I came off today.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those with very little backlift. Is that a technique you're trying to master?
Yeah, definitely. Just in training, I've just been working on hitting the far corner, so I'm very delighted.
Jadon, Ian Wright. Jadon, I just want to say to you, what has the manager said to you? Coming here on loan and playing, you're getting yourself playing. You seem to be back to the Jadon Sancho we know. You know, the touches were great. You know, nutmegging people, doing your stuff, scoring goals. What's the manager say to you?
From the very first day, they've made me feel welcome, and you know I have a lot of people to prove wrong, and I'm just day by day. I'm working hard every day in training, and you know once I get my opportunity, I just try to show what I can do. So today, you know, I'm happy that I scored and got the 3 points for the team.
Nice.
Actually, it's the first time you've scored in successive Premier League games. I mean, do you think we're starting to see the best of Jadon Sancho now?
Again, I'm just taking it game by game. Hopefully, I can continue this form. And but yeah, again, I've got to say thank you to the whole Chelsea team and the staff for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to play.
Nice.
As an attacking force, I mean, Chelsea are going to need some stopping. You've got some real momentum, some real talent in there, not least Cole Palmer. Talk to us about the way he took that second penalty.
Well, yeah, he always does these type of things in training, so I'm kind of not surprised that how he took this second goal of his.
You can't help but smile when you see it, right?
No, for sure. It's just because we see it all the time in training. So you know, again, I'm just very happy for him to get the second goal and you know to secure the 3 points.
In the last few days, in the wake of the Southampton win, Endo Maresca and Cole himself have been playing down your title chances. But the more you continue to win, the more you're going to be in the conversation. So surely that's got to be in your thinking at some point.
Well, definitely after tonight, it's not in our thinking at all. Again, we're going to take it game by game. It's still early in the season, so anything can happen. So, you know, we're just glad that we got the 3 points and on to Brentford next week.
So tell me then, finally, Jadon, what would be a good season for Chelsea?
Just keep winning. What can I say? Again, I can't get carried away because it's still early on in the season, but we're very delighted with the 3 points.
It's really good seeing you back in form. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Take care.
Tell Cucurella to sort his boots out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. That's definitely going to be part of the conversation in training.
Cheers, Jadon.
Take care, guys.
Jadon Sancho on the score sheet for Chelsea. It looks like he's really enjoying himself again.
Yeah, you can see the way he's playing. You know, he's got a lot of his confidence. His head's up. He's like I say, he's going past people. He's scoring goals. You know, somebody who's on loan, and like you mentioned there, he's got a lot of people to prove right. You know, he's working very, very hard in training, and that's the way you do it. That's what you've got to do. You've got to show the people he's still capable.
Well, let's go back to the game itself, into the second half, the first of Cole Palmer's 2 penalties. At this point, Glenn, actually, it looked like Spurs had lost all discipline.
They were on the back foot, weren't they? Chelsea come out, reshaped. This is a dreadful...
Terrible challenge.
Terrible challenge. You know straight away, look, Basuma, he goes on the floor. There's a little ball, look, from Jadon there. Just a lovely little ball in. And Casido's going, come and tackle me. Ex-players together at Brighton. Boom, look. And he's just clipped him. It's such a... Well, there's no defence. He knows that as well. And this kid don't miss from the spot, does he? He really doesn't.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Side net.
Yeah. 11 out of 11 from 12 yards at that point. And obviously that's only going to get better, but there's nothing you can do, right, as a goalkeeper in that situation.
Just got to be lucky and guess the right way, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
even that one there, with the size of Fraser, he's going to struggle to get that one.
Yeah.
It's right in the corner.
Yeah. Enzo Fernandez, it wasn't that long ago, he was having a bit of an up and down time at Chelsea, but it feels like he's getting a little bit of confidence back in his game, Glenn.
I think they've released him a little bit more. He's not playing in that deep position, because when Caicedo, second half, went in there as well, he's allowed to get in and around the penalty area where he actually finishes. This is a really good finish. I'll tell you why. He's been pressed a little bit, it's been close, but if you watch again, the ball is spinning. Great play from Palmer again, teasing players, taking them on, going down the wing, Noel, come inside on the left, so sharp. Suddenly went up a gear, didn't he? Went up a gear.
Amazing.
Porro might have done better there, but if we watch it from this way, for me, it's reading the spin, because the ball's coming at him off Van der Ven, the spin's going
and it's a wet surface, Glenn.
Yeah, no, he's cut across that beautifully. No chance for Forster.
It's just, you just look at it, like Palmer's got them dancing, they're spinning, they're all over the place. Where he was on the line. He's ended up in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Obviously got the deflection that went to Enzo, but it's just a brilliant play. Fantastic play.
3-2 at that point, and then we get another penalty. Matassar was involved in this one.
It's even worse.
Yeah, I think.
Well, what was he thinking here?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think you see, obviously, it gets to the point where he pushes him over, but he's going away from goal the whole time. You just got to keep sending him out wide and let him come back in. He's just way too keen, and Palmer knows exactly what's coming. He gets his body in front of it. He takes it. When I first saw it, I was like, oh no, definitely not. And then when you see it again, it was absolute stone wall.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you look. Those are the things that your manager looks at and you think, well, what am I going to say about that? Professional football make a challenge like that. That's fantastic.
That's class.
So it's so slow that Forster could probably get down there.
If he spun round there, I think, Dan, he could probably...
That shot there is quite something.
So if he spun round, he could have maybe caught it.
It's not even hit the back of the... Well, it's only then hit the back of the net.
I feel a bit bad for Forster, because I thought he had a really, really good game.
Yeah, he did. He made a couple of very good saves.
Some big saves, and he still conceded 4 goals.
That's the problem Spurs he's had to make. In Vicario, they have to make big saves in every game they play it. We covered them in the week, didn't we, against Bournemouth?
We did, yeah.
Forster made some great saves, and he did against Roma. And every game, there's too many chances being created against Tottenham.
1 win in 7 now for Spurs in all competitions, and the pressure remains on their head coach. Let's get his thoughts. Here's Ange Postecoglou.
Well, Ange, with an afternoon that did start so well, are you scratching your head at how you come away from that empty-handed?
Yeah, look, it's a sore one for sure. It's painful. Yeah, we started the game really well. Then we lose Romero. It's kind of nothing's run smoothly for us, and we have to reshuffle, and then they sort of get a goal in that moment. I still thought we had some big moments to get a third and sort of finish the game off, and then second half was a bit of a ding-dong for quite a while. They obviously score, but swing the game our way, and then we don't take it, and then 2 penalties weren't great from our behalf. Just a bit more discipline in the box.
And just to rewind on what you said there, so for you, is it quite a key moment losing Romero at the point you did? And I just wondered if you could give us a bit more detail there on what happened exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a key point when you lose a player in the first 20 minutes when you started well, especially a centre-back. So, he felt something in his quad, so, he couldn't continue. That's not ideal.
It's the second time you've had a 2-goal lead. You did against Brighton. Are there any comparisons to be made between the two? You said last time against Bournemouth that perhaps your team were giving them a leg up. Can you see again any similarities between this midweek performance and today as well?
No, nothing. Absolutely zero with midweek. We didn't play well at all midweek, but we played well today. They're a good side. Fair play to them. They're a top team, and as I said, we kind of got disrupted a little bit in key moments, and I think in the end the key moments sort of decided the game.
Those key moments, going forward, if you are now to try and find a way to get back on the right path, what will be your takeaways from this?
I guess just, realise, when we are playing our football, we're tough to stop, but we still got to maintain some discipline. Like I said, I thought the 2 penalties we gave away were poor. No need, and game was still in the balance. Like I said, we had the best chance at 2 before those penalties to go 3-2 up. So, when you're playing top teams, these kind of momentum shifts happen pretty quickly.
On the subject of discipline, there were 2 red cards in this fixture last year. In the first half, were you expecting any to be given, particularly with that incident first with Caicedo on Sarr?
I didn't. I haven't seen obviously the replays. From what they tell me, wasn't great. I thought a couple of decisions were a bit poor. One the linesman made when Decky was through was ridiculous because again, pivotal moments in the game. But what we can do, we've got to just accept it and move on.
We've spoken about Romero, who came back today. Likewise, Mickey van der Ven was back in the fold. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's anything. He felt a bit tight, and to be honest, the plan was only to play him sort of 60 or 70 a day. But obviously losing Romero, which he was the one that was going well, sort of hamstrung us a little bit because we didn't have any other centre backs. So hopefully not too bad. But it was good to have him out there. You can see the difference. Like I said, I think at the first 20 minutes of the game, we had Romero and Mickey out there. We looked a strong team.
With us edging towards January, you mentioned you got Ben Davies out as well. Is it going to be a big area of focus, trying to source centre halves with the situation that you are in?
Oh, it depends. I'm hoping Romero's not too bad, and we're still got to find out sort of the extent of Benny's injury. But we're obviously thin on numbers now, and as I've said, if we're still thin on numbers in January, we'll be looking to sort of add a little bit to the squad because I think they need some help.
All right. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, let's get the views of a former Spurs player and manager. Tim Sherwood joins us now from North London. Tim, good to see you.
How you doing, guys?
How do you reflect on that tonight?
Well, obviously it was a good start, but the start was created from 2 mistakes. Cucurella slips over twice. I'll tell you, at half-time here, and I felt like Chelsea were going to win the game, 2-0 down. And I think the crowd did as well. I just felt like there was a negativity amongst the punters, and they were just waiting for it to happen. And eventually it did. Sancho scores a brilliant goal when he cuts in, smashes it into the bottom corner, and I just felt it was just going to come. And I really believed that the fans around here felt the same.
Do you think that relationship now between the fans and the manager is at a low right now?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a mix. A lot of people wanted to be entertained. The last 3 Tottenham managers haven't been doing that to them, and Ange Postecoglou delivers that. You don't let anyone down on that front, and the lows are a little bit too low. There's no happy medium there, and negativity is in the results. If they was to win that game today, I know it's if, buts and maybes, but they would have gone 4 points off the top 4, which would surely have been the objective at the start of the season. So it's not the end of the world, but it's a tough moment for them, especially when you're losing a derby after being 2-0 up to Chelsea.
Tim, Glenn here.
Hi, Glenn.
From where we're sitting here in the studio watching the game, you're at the stadium. They just look so easy to play against Tottenham. Yeah. Would you agree?
I think they played on. Obviously, it was the 2 mistakes where they scored their goals, but it looked like waiting for moments. Kulusevski looks like he's a threat every time he gets the ball. Son, he's capable of doing something. I just felt when you're here, Glenn, you just look at the Chelsea side. It was balanced, and dragging people over one side, getting in down the other, penetrating down the sides. They've got 1v1 merchants all over the pitch. They've got Cucurella, I think now Enzo and Palmer's obviously top draw players, pushed them forward. Looks like they're playing 2 10s in there, really difficult to pick up, getting in the pockets. And Jackson is a nuisance, he's a real threat. And I think without the mistakes, probably, and I thought they got sloppy towards the end of the game when they conceded again, Chelsea. The only thing, I think they're in the title race. Obviously, you're in the title race, but the only thing that worries me is the goalkeeper. I don't think you can win the Premier League without a decent goalkeeper, and I'm not sure Sanchez is top draw.
ان واحد كمان سبايك كراش. يلا ديس ماتش ولا ايه؟ انا اللي حصل ده مش هينفع والله، اللي حصل ده حرام. انا ام في بي والام في بي تروح مني كده بالسهوله دي.
Match found.
ماتش فاوند. طلع يدخلوني بايه بقى النهارده؟ انا لو جبت اول 10 كيلات بالنسبه لي ابقى كسبان. كمل. العب بجيكو. ايه جيكو؟ تلعب بدين حلوه الجيم اللي فات. انا كرهت شامبر. بجد انا كرهت شامبر يا جدعان. شامبر في الجيم الحمد لله. ولا نيو.
Death match. Warm up.
هذا من كمبر. يجري ويضرب. لا اله الا الله. هات الأوب. لا اله الا الله. مرتين. اقعد بقى. اقعد، مش جايب ولا كلاية.